Can she drive the car off your lot?
Not right now, no, she can't.
I have a police report here and text messages.
I felt sorry for her, but to say that I'm guilty...
There's something in between here.
He is 100% responsible.
From the day one, Mr. Jackson has been kind of a shady runner. We looked into it a little bit, and she pulls up the website of where he works at. Was a massage parlor, not the one that you might go to for a back rub.
Plaintiff Nakaylah King claims that instead of repairing her car, the defendant left it out and allowed it to be vandalized. She's suing for $5,000. Defendant Lionel says he was in the hospital when the alleged vandalism took place, so he's not responsible and doesn't owe her a dime.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
It's case number 249 on the docket, King versus Bell.
All right, we have here Ms. King. You are the plaintiff, and you are suing Lionel Bell for $5,000 for car repairs that he never completed.
Correct, Your Honor.
Why don't you tell me your side of the story first, and then I'll talk to you.
Well, Your Honor,
Yes.
it all started, Mr. Bell reached out to me via Messenger and asked me if I knew anyone who needed vehicle repairs. I told him that I did at that time.
What kind of repairs did you
I needed
need?
my head gasket fixed on my vehicle.
Okay.
Your Honor. He advised me that he did all kinds of repairs. So I gave him my vehicle to repair, Your Honor.
Do you have like a garage? Is that your profession, or?
I used to have a garage. I don't currently have one at the place that I'm at. So
Okay.
it's actually outside, just in my driveway. I have a
Okay,
pretty
so
long
you would
driveway.
fix it in your driveway.
Yeah.
In other words, it isn't a major garage
No,
where
not
lots
right
of
now.
cars come. Okay,
No.
got it. Go ahead.
So he, this was back in February that he reached out to me.
Yeah.
A couple months had passed, and I hit him up and asked him, you know, is he still doing repairs? He said yes, but at that time he wasn't at his garage anymore, and I told him that's fine. He asked me what was wrong. We had the conversation about the head gaskets. He said that he could repair those. So around March, I took my vehicle to him to repair my head gaskets.
Yes.
And we also agreed on any other repairs that if anything flagged or came up that would be repaired at that time as well.
And so he kept informing you of what each would cost?
Yep, of every repair that he needed. So he completed the head gaskets and then told me he went to test drive it and a light came on for another issue with my vehicle.
Well, that actually was already coming on before you
Well,
brought
he
it
told
to
me
Okay,
it wasn't
but
coming
whatever.
on. It
Okay.
wasn't coming on when I drove my vehicle.
Okay.
However, Your Honor, I had took him the money for the repairs, for the head gaskets, and also his labor for the work that he had
So how
completed
much
for the
had you
gasket.
given him?
At that time, it was $400 that I had gave Mr. Bell. And then he advised me of the light that came on for the throttle, and he said that repair would be $140.
Okay.
So I took him $140 also for that repair.
How long a period was this?
This is over a course of 3 months of him having my vehicle on repairs.
I assume you had another car to drive in the meantime, or you had no car for 3 months?
I had no car. What had happened was that we fell out of touch for a while, and he told me at that time that he was hospitalized in another city. So
Okay.
I was unable to, so I didn't hear from him at that time. So he told me that when he got back to his residence, there were other vehicles there that people were dropping off their cars to his residence for repairs while he was still in the hospital.
That's actually
and
true.
so
Those are the
I,
ones I
Okay,
was
so at
okay,
that
I'm going to
time-
get to you.
beforehand.
I'm going to get to you.
So I asked him if I could just come pick up my car, and he said that he had to wait for the police to get the other vehicles towed out. So he had to call the police to get them to tow the vehicle out, and he could take up to 14 days. I have some paperwork here for the text message if you.
Yeah, I'll take a
Okay.
look at it.
This was him informing me that the vehicles, Your Honor, were being towed out of his residence. So I'm not sure what that first message was about.
So now she can't get her car.
Because, yes,
The other
some other
cars were
clients that
blocking
I
it.
had actually had brought their cars, and they put it
And
in
it was
front of her
blocked.
vehicle. So
Okay.
she was blocked in.
She's saying to you on June 7th, if you haven't made any progress on my car, it's okay, I'll be picking it up tomorrow between 10 and 3.
This is after the fact. What she's speaking on is from the same accident that held my time up, correct? I went back to file a medical claim. I was doing a medical claim, going to court to do the medical claim to get monies for the accident. I notified everybody I was going out of town for that event. When I got into the accident, initially, I just let them know, hey, I'm hospitalized. When I was still away, she had contacted me and had said, hey, stuff that's going on in my vehicle, everything's missing, it's damaged, it's this. Other vehicles that were there were in fact also vandalized as well. Things were missing: tires, rims, electrical
so
stuff,
all the cars that got
equipment.
vandalized, including
Yes, and
hers.
including my house did.
All right, so where are we now? Who has the car?
He still has
It's
the
still at my
vehicle as his
residence.
residence because
Okay,
it's still
okay.
blocked in by more cars.
Her car is still blocked in?
It's still blocked in
They-
by more cars.
The problem with the situation is I set those up to come before this took place. So they were actually thinking they were okay to bring them.
I want to know now, you still have the car.
It's
Wh-
still in my
Why
residence,
can't she
yes.
get her car like now?
Technically, if she wanted to, she could, but like I said, her car came to me already damaged from an accident. We had to continue doing other repairs even after her head gasket was repaired.
Can you fix her car?
At this present point in time, I mean, even if I can, I don't find myself after doing all this with the suit, and because I don't feel like I owe her or anything. The job that she,
Your Honor,
what she
I
has
have
paid
text,
for
I have
has
text
been
messages where he
done.
said that he would pay
and
for
has
my
She
been
damages.
drives the
repaired.
car off your lot.
Not right now, and this could just no, she can't.
I have a police report here and text messages where he said that he would pay me, Your Honor. This is also photographs of my car before
see
and
it.
the damages
Let's see
underneath
it.
the hood afterwards.
That was only because I felt sorry for her. But to say that now I'm liable, to say I'm guilty, or say I'm not going to accept
It's not
that.
a
I don't
matter
feel like
of-
I should pay her.
What happened is, if you look at the pictures,
but now it's
if you
it's
look at
been
the pictures, he left
vandalized.
my
And
window.
that's just not me.
All
I'm
right,
not
can I see?
responsible for the
These are the
vandalism.
pictures of the car.
Yes, if you look at the pictures,
All right, this-
everything is missing from underneath the hood. That's underneath the hood, my vehicle
That's
before.
underneath before.
Yes, sir.
And now the under. Let's look at the after.
After the vandalism. But there's
So you're
other
saying
cars.
someone-
There's other cars vandalized even worse than that.
But in the messages the day before the vandalism took place, so he says, he was saying that he
I've
was
been the
working
only
on my
one that was
vehicle.
working on the car, as in no other mechanics have been working
Okay.
on your car.
So the two things you handed me are a total of $780 and $136.89.
I forgot one right here, I'm sorry. This is for the engine repair. There was corrosion inside underneath my hood. He also stated that he
Okay,
was
okay,
100% responsible.
And you think he should pay for a new engine?
I believe he should pay me for the damages done to my vehicle because it was in his care at the time. And the day prior to him saying that my car was vandalized, he also told me that he was
Your
working on my
Honor,
car.
I never
Your
told
Honor,
her
and he
that
also
the car
said
was
that he was-
vandalized. She
he also
called me
told
when I was
me-
still out of town.
Okay, he didn't know it was
and
vandalized. You
I
told him.
he wasn't
And then I
communicating with
returned
me. I
home.
went to his residence. He never told me he was going out of town.
The question then is, what happens if there is damage done when he has custody of the car? It's fair for her to say, if you give your car to somebody to fix and you pay him for it, then while that person has custody, that person is responsible for when things happen. Do you have insurance?
No, but not to cover those cars that I'm repairing. I mean, I have personal insurance for like.
Yeah,
my
I
own
understand.
car,
Yeah, but you don't because that.
But
well, that-
I'm not in my shop anymore, which I did.
how
$1,000.
long did you leave that car there?
He had it for a couple of months.
Okay, at some point, you got to say that's ridiculously long. It's not being dealt with. Why are you still?
On multiple occasions, I contacted the defendant and asked him to get my vehicle, and every time there was
It
excuses
was
of him being
because
out of
she knew I
town.
was
He had my key, and he had my
She
only
was,
key.
okay, he was hospitalized.
She knew
Okay.
that.
I don't know anything about that until after I reached out to him about picking up my vehicle. Is that when he told me he was hospitalized? Prior to that, he never reached out to me and told me that. Still to this day, there's still cars in front of my vehicle, Your Honor. So I still couldn't even get my vehicle from him.
I don't
All
have a
right.
problem admitting that, but that doesn't.
Every time I reached out to him to get my vehicle, it was always an
$5,000
excuse. And he had my
for
only key
these
to my
repairs,
vehicle.
And now that it was
I have the police
vandalized.
report, and there was no way I can retrieve
All
my
right.
vehicle from him.
You're asking me to make a decision. I'm going to make a decision. I'm going to fine for the plaintiff in the sum of $3,000.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would still like my car. I just hope that there's no more vehicles placed in front of it this time.
She's gonna be taken care of. We'll get everything set up for her to get a vehicle and everything, and more power to her. I'm gonna keep fixing cars.
Plaintiff Napoleon Jackson is suing his former landlord for failing to fix a water leak that led to a $1,129 water bill. Defendant Jason Harp says he made the repairs, and the plaintiff simply won't pay his bills. And he's countersuing for $1,000 for negligence for letting a fire burn down his kitchen.
Nothing but the truth.
I do.
I do.
This is case number 245 on the docket. Jackson versus Harp.
All right. And welcome to both of you. Let's see what we have here. We have the plaintiff, Mr. Jackson, You are suing the defendant, Mr. Harp, for $1,129 for charges on your water bill that you believe you don't owe.
Correct.
And the defendant, Mr. Harp, you are countersuing the plaintiff for $1,000 for catching your kitchen caught on fire. Okay, let's start with the plaintiff.
Okay, the reason I'm here, Your Honor, is I'm suing my ex-landlord. It all started around May. I kept hearing something that sounded like water running. And I was like, what is that sound, you know? And I'm listening, and it seemed like it was coming from the toilet. I notified him that there's something going on, and I can hear this water running.
Yeah, how soon after you heard it did you let him know?
I let him know immediately. And he's a firefighter, so he told me on his next day off that he'll be by to take a look at it.
Yeah.
He decided to go ahead and fix it. So he took out everything out of the inner parts of the toilet, and he replaced it. A little bit after that, I still kept hearing this noise. Okay, so the first water bill that we received was like in June, and it was over $1,000. It was like a little bit over $1,000.
This was the first water bill that you received after you started to hear the noise?
Correct.
And what were your water bills about at that point?
Roughly $55, $60.
And suddenly, after what you thought was flooding or whatever, or something wrong with the toilet or the pipes, it was suddenly $1,000.
Right. When I told him about the high water bill, he assured me that if I take the receipt to the water company,
Yep.
that they would adjust the water bill.
And did they?
They did, but I kept hearing this noise again. Okay, so when we got the next water bill, which was around August, another $1,500. So now we looking at a little bit over $2,000.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, well that clearly, it's clearly not fixed.
Do you have these bills?
Yes, I do.
This here is the total, Judge, at the top. And these are the adjustments highlighted.
Were you paying your water bill?
Yes.
Every month you paid your water bill?
Yes.
Because this shows you had a balance. This is before the noise ever came or the toilet ever broke or whatever. You kept having a balance due on the amounts you paid.
I've got the evidence for you,
Okay,
Judge.
I'll listen to you now for a moment.
From the day one, Mr. Jackson has just been kind of a shady runner. He paid cash every month. My wife, she thought that was odd. And so we looked into it a little bit, and she pulls up the website of where he works at. Well, the website, it just was a massage parlor. Not the one that you might go to for a back rub.
Well,
But
let's keep me out of this. Okay.
I've been a civil servant for 20 years, Judge.
Okay.
I'm as honest as the day is long.
Okay, so you did, okay. You're a firefighter?
Yes, I am.
Well, God bless you for
20
that.
years. When he called, he actually texted is what he did. He texted in June saying that the toilet's been running. I immediately go over there and fix the toilet. I take the guts out, I go to Home Depot, I come back, I replace everything in the toilet.
Okay, and that got adjusted. Now I want to know then he said noise continued.
Here's something from him about 2 weeks later. Oh, it's still making that noise. I fixed the toilet. That was in June. So the water bill was high. I gave him the receipt. I said, look, it's going to be a high water bill. I don't know what it's going to be. Here's the receipt. Contact the water company because I can't. The water bill was not in my name.
Let me see
On this, Your Honor, you're going to see that there was highlighted the adjustments of $1,000, $595, and $964, and
Okay.
$150.
Here's my question. The adjustments have been made. The case is, you're saying your bills were higher because of leaks. You're saying because he didn't totally take care of it, and even though the water company gave you credit on that, it wasn't credit for all of the extra money. That's your case, and that's why you're suing for $1,129. Some of that is due to you building up a balance from month to month, which I see here, even in months where we're not dealing with a leak, because you're not paying the full amount that you owe in spite of the leak. Now we have your countersuit. Well, it's kind of ironic. You're the firefighter and his place burned.
Exactly. I'm an expert at it, Judge.
Did you call him? He's a firefighter.
He called me 3 months later, Judge, when he moved out.
You're countersuing him because the kitchen was damaged because of a fire somewhere in the area of $30,000. But even if it's 20, even if it's 15, you're not suing him for that. You're just suing for the $1,000 deductible that is left. My question to both of you is there a security deposit?
There was.
And what did the security deposit go to?
Security deposit covered these items from the receipt from the remodeling company that were different than the fire problems.
A repair hole knocked in the wall.
The handrail was torn off the wall. There was paint peeling off the walls.
The
there
handrail
was
was already
in the floor.
The handrail was already loose. It was
Okay.
already loose. He knew that.
The security deposit was $1,400.
Yes, sir.
And what were the total damages you took out of it?
Over $1,400. $500 for
No, that's 800, 875, 975, 10, 11, 12, 13, 17, 5. It comes out to, isn't that strange? It comes out to just about exactly 4.
I mean, there was a few more things. Judge
He got a friend
All right.
that does his
Okay.
does his adjusting. So
All right, look, I understand this didn't turn out to be a happy experience for either of you.
And I'm sorry that.
Yeah, well, no, I
To be
know.
honest with you,
Okay.
I really don't like that. I mean, I've literally, before I've got the suit, got served,
Yeah.
I had talked to him for 20 minutes on the telephone the day before and had no idea. And I told him, I said, you know what, keep your head up. Life is going to get better for you.
Oh, okay.
And I wish the best for you. And
Oh, well, that's fair.
Under oath, Judge, I would say that I wish the best for him.
that's
Okay.
after every problem that we had going up until then.
You sued him for $1,129 to take care of your water bill. Part of that $1,129 is, as I look at the monthly payments you made and did not make, part of that was because of late fees that you didn't make the payment on time. You're suing for $1,129. Even if I gave you both what you were asking for, we would wind up with you winning $129. His $1,000 against you, your $1,129 against him. But because part of the $1,129, to be fair, was because you did have late payments, I have no choice but to say the case on both sides is dismissed.
He judged pretty fairly. So I mean, I'm a big fan of Jerry Springer anyway. So
He didn't pay his water bill the way he was supposed to. I went above and beyond, and I've done more for this man than a lot of my own family members. And so I'm pretty upset that he feels that way, but I understand. It's, the way the cookie crumbles, as they say.
Thanks for watching. Now please approach the bench. The way I look at it, you have two options here. Option A, watch more Judge Jerry. Option B, watch more Jerry Springer. The choice is yours. Now get out of my courtroom. You have more clips to watch. And don't forget to subscribe.